So this story started as a video covering what Candace posted on X about the threat on her life, and it sprawled into something much bigger, much more important as an addition to that story. So I would encourage you guys to stick around, and you're going to see a huge turn right around like minute 10 and for the rest of the video. So buckle up, you know. I don't do this unless I'm like very confident that people will want to see what I have in the second act, and I am. Never mind, it starts at 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So I would imagine the title of this video is probably going to end up being something along the lines of, I am concerned about Candace Owens. And you can look at that any way that you want as we get into the meat and bones of this video, because I'm sure that everybody saw this post from yesterday. All right. I guess this technically would have been Friday, but late night Friday. And Candace is saying that she uncovered a plot to have her put in the ground by some very prominent and powerful people, global leaders that definitely are not citizens or leaders of this country. So when I say that I'm concerned about her, what I mean is that regardless of the status of accuracy that this is over here or over here, okay, I'm very concerned either way, all right? Because if this is true, right, this should go without saying that there's a lot of reason to be very concerned for her, given what's happened with Charlie Kirk. And this is not the time for anybody to be taking threats on people's lives not seriously. And it's crazy because you look into the comments of this post, and obviously I'm going to read the post, and the lack of awareness that some people have of like what's going on, like what's really going on, is shocking to me. It's like really shocking. Now, of course, if this is not true, which is obviously the other, you know, obviously if it is true, of course, because if it's not true, then I am also extremely concerned, because what that would mean is that you have someone posing as a credible source of information who is feeding her nonsense, and she's putting this out, or she has put herself in a position where she's so kind of cornered where she's terrified of this. I don't think there's any scenario where like people are like, oh, she's just grifting. I don't believe it, dude. Okay. I don't believe it. I don't like this. No way. Okay. There's no way that she's just making this up to go viral. She's already the #1 show. Why would she do that? Right now, she also just uncovered where the payments are going through. And this is through a very old school aristocratic group in France that we're going to talk about. You guys got to keep in mind, okay? You got to keep in mind, she's currently facing a massive lawsuit from the people that she's accusing of this, okay? The idea that you would just fabricate this is absurd, right? Like, she's already fighting for her life or for financial life in court. I mean, without getting into the weeds, like, I know, guys, I know her husband's family has money. Like, I get it, and she has money too. What does that have to do with anything? You think because someone has money that that means that it can't be threatened by a lawsuit from the president of a Western NATO country? Now, once we moved on from that first story, we're going to be taking a look at this one right here, which is Erica Kirk's not performance. I think that's a foreshadowing. Erica Kirk's appearance on the Megyn Kelly stage, and this was very notable to me. This whole clip is 2 minutes and 49 seconds. I'm going to give you guys fair warning. This is going to be fun for everyone to watch because, like I've said, very challenging for me to watch Erica Kirk. And I don't mean this as some kind of, like, I'm not trying to slam her. I'm not saying anything. I'm certainly not saying anything related to this case. I'm just saying there are people who, for whatever reason, make my blood run cold, and she is one of them. And I only made it through about 30 seconds of this. And so you're going to get to watch me watch this whole thing. And you like for fun, for my, longtime viewers, you can know for sure that I am paralyzed with being like cringe. And you get to see what that looks like while I try to keep a strong poker face. Although I guess it's not really a big poker face if I tell you in advance that is how I feel. Oh, why are we looking at this guy? Don't worry. That will become very clear. Okay, if we have time. This guy's a moron. Also, looks like he is doubling up for some gay corn. This guy was in the comments on one of the Candace things, and I'm like, who's this guy? And then I went and looked, and I'm like, oh, cool. So he looks like if people are not responding to him on X, he's like, I am so thirsty for something salty to drink. You know what I mean? Anyway, all right, so we're going to get into this thing right now. By the way, it is my birthday today, and guess what I'm doing, okay? For my birthday, I'm doing what I always do, which is recording a video that I'm going to share with you guys, and then I'm going to hang out with my family. We're going to play some Yahtzee, whatever. And I cannot even possibly explain to you the level of gratitude that I feel when I realized I could do whatever I want today, and I am choosing to do what I do every day, okay? That's the dream, and you guys are the ones who have enabled that to be the case for my life, and that's why I try to give you guys as much time as I possibly can. I genuinely very much appreciate you guys. And to those of you who have not subscribed to the channel, listen, if you want to give me a very nice birthday gift, you can like this video, and then you can subscribe to the channel. So all of you guys, consider it a birthday gift to me if you like the video, and anybody who hasn't clicked subscribe, that would be awesome too. All right, so let's do this thing. So Candace Owens says, 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. You read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I have no idea what that is, and for some reason I actually had not even looked that up yet, but we will right after this. So let's go ahead and highlight that, because we definitely are going to Google that afterwards. Okay, I'm told there's one Israeli that is on the assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, the person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Foreign Legion, 13th Brigade, with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted, since this source claims our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information which is definitively verifiable should they care to reach out to me. To the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you. Truly, let all be revealed. Okay, so moving on to what she posted today, because, that's obviously relevant. In addition to that, she said, I'm told that the payments for assassins are running through the Club Descent in France. This means that there is a paper trail, and I encourage the patriots of France to do what you can to uncover it. I would again like to stress that there was a French female assassin, but also a male and Israeli assassin that were selected to kill me. These are joint state operations. Okay, so who that is, apparently the Club Descent is, it's a club that presents itself as a simple association of bon vivants and food lovers, connoisseurs, but the reality is far less innocuous in our country, where it has become customary to settle major national affairs over a meal. This very discreet circle is headquartered a stone's throw from the Ulysses Palace. I know that one. Almost half of the club's members, all male, come from old aristocratic families, wealthy heirs, ambassadors, and historians. It is a place to convey messages. CEO of CAC 40 companies and captains of the industry make up the bulk of the membership. Women are not admitted except to the annual gala dinner. I mean, geez, that's such a I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't help it, dude. Patriarchy, but apparently a lady is a big enough deal for them to want to potentially assassinate. So they're basically saying it's like the Freemasons, okay? It's like the Freemasons, essentially. Now, let's talk about this, all right? So, obviously, if that's true, and these people are plotting murders on American soil, like, you know what? Let me rewind. Let me actually just start like this, okay? We are in cartoon world. If this is true, okay, you have a French president who is married to a man who is pretending to be a woman, okay? And they conspired with multiple people who are like international hitmen or hit ladies from different countries, and they're going to go and they're going to kill a black female podcaster who lives in Tennessee. Okay? Just wrap your brain around that. Wrap your brain around that. And under normal circumstances, right? Like I would be telling that story in a way that's like, there's no, come on. You know what I mean? Like the whole purpose of me telling the story would be like, this is absurd. Okay? She's just a black female podcaster in Tennessee. And they're going to have an Israeli assassin. Like, give me a break. And now it's like, no, that adds up. Now, hold that thought, because I just went on a 13-minute rant. That's some of the best work that I've ever done on the channel, and I highly suggest that you guys listen to that. But I just want to finish my thought here really quick on Candace, which is this. If a foreign nation, the leader of a foreign nation, conspires and has Candace Owens, one of the most prominent voices in America, killed, and we allow that, okay, then she's right about the government. As a matter of fact, anybody who says, like, that cannot be allowed. Bottom line is this. Anyone who is on board with an American citizen being killed by another country has smoked, like, you have lost the plot, dude. Okay. I would say this about any Democrat voice also. Kyle Kulinski. Hey, we need to bring back ass kickings. Okay. Listen, Donald Trump is right now, he's got his face in a puddle and he's imagining that it's a baby diaper because he loves baby diapers. Whatever fucking idiotic shit that guy is talking out of his face. Okay. If some foreign country was like, yeah, well, he got a little too close to the sun, so we're going to have Kyle Kulinski killed. Instantaneously, I would be like, no, you're not. If I had any ability to do that, he's American, dude. I could sit here and make fun of him all day long, tell everybody I don't like him, but you don't. No. What's the point of being members of a country if we allow members of another country to just come in and kill our own people? It doesn't mean anything then. It means nothing. Like, all of this means nothing if that is allowed, no matter how you feel about those people. You have to have as long as an American is not, like, conspiring with another country against us, then you have to have their back. You have to, dude. You have to have their back. I don't care if you hate Candace or you think she's crazy or whatever nonsense on the internet I see. You have to have her back, period. Okay? But again, having a, black female podcaster adds up, and I'll tell you exactly why. It's important to understand why it adds up, though, okay? This is why this is happening. It's because these aristocratic families, global aristocratic families, have run the world for centuries, okay? Centuries. And there have been, offshoots of people and people who marry into those groups, and then they form their own groups. But ultimately, you can trace the true power bases back to like the 1700s, okay? You could name the families by name. Okay, these are like long-term banking families that spread throughout the world. Oh, they're doing that one over there, central banks, all of that stuff. Okay, and they have kept control for so long because they had total dominance over media narratives. Okay, in the 1700s, right? You put out it was all paper that people would distribute to each other with stories written on it until very recently. Okay, that's how information got out. People wrote things down on pieces of paper, then they typewritered them, then they printed them, whatever. But it's words on a page, distributed. Okay, how many things like how many pieces of paper can you distribute if you don't own a manufacturing plant or some kind of industrial way of producing them? Not very many. Okay, and how many people have the money to mass produce newspapers or pieces of paper? Not very many. Okay. And if the people who control the money supply decide that they want to control all of that paper distribution process, how hard is that for them? They make the money. It's a fractional banking system. They literally create the money. They can do whatever they want. They can buy whatever they want. They can consolidate everything they want. Okay? And then when in the advent of television, there were like how many channels at first? How many channels were there again? It's like 2 channels, 3 channels. And so they control those channels. They decide, oh, this is an even better way to brainwash everyone. And This is simple. This is like not complicated. Why this is happening. And then as more channels become available, they just make sure that they structure it in a way where there are big gatekeepers. It's like, yeah, you would love to say that, but no, you cannot say that. Okay, we are keeping our messages aligned. Then you have the advent of Hollywood, and you have the CIA in there, and they're controlling what can be said and what can't, and they're putting messages into these movies because all of the movies have to go through the studio system. As long as they control the studio system, then they can decide what narratives are allowed. Why do you think that there has always, every movie when the CIA is in it, okay, they don't mind making the CIA look devious as long as they make them look powerful, very powerful, beyond what you could possibly imagine. Like, haven't you ever thought about that? It's like, why would they allow the movie Enemy of the State, the Will Smith one, where it's like, oh yeah, they're spying on you all the time. It's like, why would they allow that if they're really spying on us? It's like, because they don't give a shit about people being upset about it. They want you to know that they are, or at least have the impression that they're all powerful. That's what actually matters to them, right? And then that's basically the paradigm that we lived under until the internet, right? Like, until the internet. And as a perfect example of like how long ago we kind of stepped into the world we live in now, it's not very long, okay? You know how many times the Donald Trump is in the Epstein emails? None, okay? He exchanged no emails with Epstein. And I'm not bringing that up to talk about that fact. I'm talking about the fact that they were done in 2004. Okay. Like, that's when they stopped talking. Okay. I did not even have an email address until the year 2000 at the absolute earliest. Okay. Certainly not like one that I used or anything. Like, I remember having an email that I almost never used, like 2000, 2001, 2002. I never used email. Okay. So like, that's email. We're not even talking about YouTube or actual, people's behavior where they would go to the internet for the information they want to consume. Like, this is so new. Okay. I remember in 2005 is when MySpace had blown up. MySpace had blown up. MySpace was a really big deal, but it was still just people sharing pictures. There was no one going to MySpace to find out what's on the news. And then Facebook blew up and whatever. I mean, like, this is so recent. And it's only in the last the last decade to a little bit longer than that, where people all of a sudden start coming to Twitter, they start coming to YouTube, and they start coming to all this. And they're like, well, what's going on in the world? And suddenly citizen journalism becomes one of the key ways that people learn things that they were never allowed to learn before, right? They weren't allowed to learn them. And up until very recently, basically all of the social media companies were being controlled by the same people through the pressure that the government was putting on them, or money that they had taken from people who were on their boards. They're like, yeah, you can't allow that stuff to get distributed. We need to do something. We need to do something very important. Just look at the pandemic. Like, look at the pandemic and look at how that was handled. Okay. Elon bought X and unlocked the world. And it's TBD kind of what what's going to happen. Because you have that, so now everyone can learn what's really going on, but you can also learn a bunch of nonsense, right? You have access to information you never had before, and you have the rise of cryptocurrency. And so the way that these people have controlled the world for an incredibly long time is literally crumbling beneath their hands. It's crumbling underneath them. It is crumbling. Control is all about what people believe. It's all about what people have access to. Okay, they want the population docile, and they also are contending with the fact that they know that up until now they also controlled people with the monetary system, because everyone needs to eat. Okay, they need to eat, they need shelter, and how do they do that? They do it with money. And so, what's a person going to do if they don't have the money to put shelter? They're going to go work for it. They have to. Okay. Well, now we're rolling into a new age of AI where they're not going to need humans to eat or to work. Like, it's over. We don't need human labor anymore very soon. And if you think that's not true, I promise you, you're wrong. And like, I'm talking like almost any jobs. They're automating all of it. It's all going to be automated. And you can Elon will tell you that, right? Except in his world, he's like, people aren't going to need money anymore. Like, they're not going to need jobs because we're going to be able to do all of this without humans. Okay, well, the problem with that version of the world is that people don't know how else to live. Like, everyone who's alive has only lived under a monetary system. Okay, that's the only way that anybody knows how to live. So if the idea is that like all of a sudden someone's going to snap their fingers and go, hey guys, so no longer need money. If you want, just go to the store and just pick up whatever you want. It's like, all right, well, what do you mean pick up whatever we want? Well, I mean, we have like robots producing all the food, and then automated cars that are driving or trucks that are driving it there. So like, yeah, it's just there. And it's like, okay, well, what if someone goes in there and they try to take like everything out of there? It's like, well, you'll have controls over how much you can take. And they're like, wait, what? It's like, you can't just like take all the food. We are going to allocate how much you can have and based on how big your family is. And then at a certain point, people are going to go, so what? Like people who have like 100 kids get to take all the food, and they're going to go, all right, well, come to think of it, that's a good point. Okay, well, from now on, families are only allowed to have 2 kids. And everyone's going to go, what? We're only allowed to have 2 fucking kids? What are you talking about? We're only allowed to have 2 fucking kids. They're shutting it down. We have no freedom. We can't buy what we want. We can't even have as many kids as we want to have. And it's like, dude, we're moving into a new world where you have to be able to control things like that because the alternative is fucking anarchy. Anarchy you can't even wrap your brain around. We have to get off the monetary system. And the only people who are going to be able to do it are these same people. And they're watching their kind of nefarious actions that they've been doing forever just falling apart. Okay? Like there's a lot going on. I know, people look at me and they're like meathead tattoos. And I kind of, play the part a little bit. But like this is what's actually going on in my brain all the time. Okay? All the time. Stuff like this. People is all I understand. And so when people are coming up with, these solutions to these things that are blah, 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 it's like, guy, okay, you're Bill Gates. You're like, oh, yeah, hey, let's just tell them that climate change is going to destroy the world. And that's why we have to put in place these things because, whatever. You're like, why don't you just tell them the fucking truth, dude? Okay? Why don't you paint this picture for them? Explain to them what's going to happen, that it's inevitable, okay? People will be more accepting of things that they understand. Perfect example of this. I was talking about with someone that you guys are getting more than you bargained for in this episode. I realize I'm supposed to be talking about Candace, okay, but I'm on a roll. So I'm going to be talking about this. You guys can tell me in the comments if you would prefer I just whatever, talk about things, whatever. Okay, but bottom line is this is like, I was talking to somebody about the Ukraine war, right? We were talking about how buddy of mine, he was telling me that the exact figures, I can't remember. It was something like, I don't even want to pull it up, but it was some astronomical percentage of energy sources and rare minerals are in Ukraine. And it was like the future of control of Europe is in Ukraine because of these minerals and, and energy sources. It's like, it's that simple. That's why Ukraine is such a big asset. And I'm like, so why don't they just tell us that? Okay. Why don't you just tell us that? Why don't you just explain to us that if Russia, okay, like, let me rewind actually, that the way this actually happened, okay, was because the story that we're hearing is that, well, the United States kept on, pushing the NATO line. They kept on pushing NATO line, and until they're right on Russia's door and Russia invaded Ukraine because, America pushed up on their border. And it's like, okay, maybe. Or there's another way to look at this, which is we do things in a way to avoid violence if we can. And what actually happened is we went in there and we installed a government. Okay. We didn't kill anyone. We didn't do anything. We played politics and we got our guys in there and we offered them protection with our military in exchange for them, opening up these mines and like these energy sources to us. And then Russia started shooting guns and missiles at them. Okay. We played the game the way it's supposed to be played. They're the ones who got violent, started blowing things up. And by the way, is that what you guys want? Do you think that we're going to be the American empire forever? You want Russia in charge of the future of all energy in Europe? You want to take that away from us? How long do you think this is going to last? We have to win over there in order to maintain global control for this reason, that reason. Just explain it to people. Okay. I'm not saying I would necessarily sign off on it, whatever, but just explain what's actually going on. People are not stupid anymore. Okay. You used to have stupid people. Now, just calling people conspiracy theorists. Do I sound like a conspiracy theorist or do I sound like a person who fucking recognizes the way the world actually works? It's like, just say what's actually happening and people will most likely be on board. It's like, yeah, dude, we gave our word to Ukraine, right? And we did it for this reason. Like, don't pretend that we're out here Mother Teresaing the world. Everyone knows it's bullshit, okay? No one believes that. It just doesn't work. No, we just need to protect them because, geez, it's because of all of these deaths. It's like, dude, we don't know them, okay? I've never been to Ukraine. I couldn't pick Ukraine. I could pick Ukraine, but like, we know you're full of shit. And if you're lying to us, then we assume you have a nefarious reason for lying to us, okay? We all care about America. If you're like, America is going to lose our position in the world if we lose that country and we played it the right way, and then they started bombing him. What do you want to do? You want to just give up? It's like, fuck no, I don't want to give up. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, stop telling me it's about humanitarian, because it's not. I don't believe you. It's not true. Anyway,